Hi, everyone. Good evening. How are you guys? Hi, Fly Girl. Hi, Sealed Evidence. How are you? How are you? Good to see everybody. So, Merry Christmas, you guys. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I know that this family, Winter Wagner's family, I know that they are absolutely relieved to hear that she has been located. The terms located safe has been said by police, by officials. I question the word safe in those situations. How safe can a child be whenever there is somebody who has been arrested for kidnapping charges and things like that? So while she may be alive, it does not necessarily mean that she is well. So we have a lot of information to kind of look at. I have a lot of questions about some things. We still have not seen a picture of this guy. I don't know if anybody has found a legitimate photo of him. Please send it over either to Sleuth Mom on Facebook, send it in Discord if you are a member, and if you're not a member, you can also uh, shoot it over to my email, sleuthmom. What is it? Sleuthmom12 at outlook.com. Goodness, it's been so long since I've said my email that I did not even remember what it is. I don't know if this is even still hooked up, but let's see if Nightbot or whoever I have will drop that. Hi, Mama Bear. How are you? It's so good to see you. Hi, Cooter G. I love good news cases, right? We started covering her last week, I believe it was. We did a couple live streams on her. We were starting to listen to family interviews and things like that. We didn't make it that far. And part of it is I really had an inkling as soon as I started hearing the case details about Winter Wagner's case that this was not a situation of foul play on the family members' parts. I did not think that this was going to be somebody in her local community. I really truly believed from the first time that I heard her details that we were looking at a situation where Winter was lured out of her home or made the decision to leave her home for some way, shape, or form reason and meet up with somebody, and that she was taken to a location, and that's exactly what happened. I have a very, very strong feeling that we are going to see some internet connections to this, whether it is going to be through a social media platform, a game system. Some people are speculating Roblox. I think Roblox gets a lot of bad publicity for stuff like this, but I don't think that Roblox is the only platform, unfortunately, that people utilize to target kids. Anywhere that there is the internet and unchaperoned internet access, you are going to have these types of situations come up, honestly. And I mean, we talked about this the other day. My son actually on Trivia Crack, which I didn't even know that they have social media platforms on the game Trivia Crack, but apparently that is a feature that they have added. And, they just fall into these traps where they are looking for friends, they're looking for love, they're looking for some type of support or some type of guidance or whatever. And they're falling into these situations where they're talking to people that they have no idea who they are talking to. They're sharing information that they think makes them feel relevant in these conversations. These people are adults most of the time that they're speaking with. For example, in Winter's case, this is a 37-year-old man who has been arrested and is being charged with kidnapping, that will be charged with kidnapping for this situation. And so, this is I look for there to be far more charges than kidnapping, unfortunately. I don't think that there is any way there is any way, shape, or form that this man has just had her casually at his house for the last 2 months and has done nothing to her. And that's the unfortunate reality behind this. I think that we're going to be looking in a situation where this girl has probably gone through something extremely troublesome and life changing for her because she's only 13 years old. You're still here, but searching for photos. Yeah, it is. It's just disgusting. And so I look for a lot more charges. She's 13 years old, Mama Bear. I just want to let you guys know closed captioned is on today. So I'm going to be a full minute behind you guys in the chat. So there is a chance that I'm going to not see your comments as fast as you think I should, and things of that nature. If anything urgent comes up and you need my attention, best way is to send it through Discord if it's somebody here that has Discord access. You can flag me a lot quicker like that whenever the closed captioned is on, because I am one full minute behind you guys. or ahead of you guys, really. So I have to wait a full minute to see your text, if that makes sense. Um, and so there's a lot of information to look over. A lot of things that I can show you guys. We'll start with what the police have actually said. Now let me pull this up again. I got so many tabs open right this second, so I do apologize for that. Let me get this going. Take a minute though, while I'm getting this pulled up, guys, hit the like button if you haven't already. And let's take a look. One of the things that we have pulled up is, so they said the 1200 block of Dalewood Road is where he was arrested. We did actually pull up, by we, I mean Seal. She did pull up a Intellis report of this man, Christian Alexander Delgado, is who they are saying is arrested. And I'm just going to show you guys briefly the screenshot or the screen, I guess, of this. I'm not going to flag and show all of his different family members' names and things like that. But we are getting this information, these details of him from the Intellis reports on him. And so going to skip the information, but this is his birth date. He is age 37. He was born in December of 88, according to this. And this does have his last known address on here. So his last known address, which would line up with what the police are saying, is going to be this 12,023 Dalewood Drive. So this is allegedly, according to this Intellis report and according to the road that police have given us where the arrest took place in Silver Spring, Maryland, 12,023 Dalewood Drive. Silver Spring, Maryland. She was over 500 miles away from her home when she was located. So lots of questions, but one thing that I noticed right here is this is a 2025 Google image. According to the bottom corner of Google Maps, this picture was taken October of 2025. Oddly enough, Wynter went missing in October of 2025. So this is something very recent. Could have even been taken in the days of her disappearance after she had been there. Do any of these vehicles belong to him? I do not know. But one thing that I noticed right away whenever I was looking at this image is he does have a camera on the outside of one of these windows, kind of looking out towards the street. I'm going to imagine that he probably has cameras towards the front door. This man was watching, he was monitoring his property and monitoring his area, probably to keep an eye and be alert. And thank God police were able to get into here and arrest him and get Wynter out with no incident. Nobody was harmed in it, meaning, he didn't try to fight, he didn't try to flee. And thank God he did not hurt Wynter in the process of police going in there and arresting him today. And so let's see here. One of the other things I noticed though too is right next door, get this, guys, a family child care center. I've been trying to find their website or any type of information on this child care center to see if it is somebody who he is related to or somebody that has to do with his family, things like that, or if this is just so happens to be a split duplex and these people have nothing to do with him. It's a very, very likely situation, but it really makes you wonder knowing that a tip was called in about people seeing him with this 13-year-old girl and thinking that the relationship was suspicious. And they called it in and reported it to police, and that's how he was found. Makes you wonder if the people inside of this daycare had seen Wynter coming in and out with him, or maybe seen her in passing, maybe noticed that she looked distraught or something along those lines. We don't know who called in the tip, just that a tip was called in and he was arrested about all of this. So, yeah, you're out there doing your thing, right? Yes, she is 13. Yeah, it's so far away from where she is from. So far. Sorry, I'm catching up. Yeah, Seal is always hard at work. Always hard at work. So let's take a look at what police have actually said about this situation. Let me pull it up. Maybe where to go. I've been trying to look at the arrest blotters. We have been searching for his image since this happened, basically, since the arrest was announced. So far, we got this tab right here. This is the actual like arrest record for Montgomery County, Maryland. We're waiting for him to be extradited to Kentucky so that we can see those charges. So far, they have said kidnapping. From what we understand, she has been taken to be checked out. He was actually arrested yesterday. Sorry, I said today. He was arrested yesterday at 6 p.m. is what time that they actually went into his home and got her out, things of that nature. So it's just a lot. Yep, see something, say something. Yes, she was with him for 2 full months. It's just, listen, she is 13 years old. Even if she went there by her own choice, even if she left that home by her own choice to meet up with this man, she is 13 years old. That decision is not her right to make. This is a 37-year-old man who has taken full advantage of her, in my opinion. You just don't know what you don't know at 13. Okay, here's this.
Wynter. Someone saw Wynter and didn't think that it was right that she was with this individual. They figured out that it could be Wynter Wagoner, and they called our communication center and asked us to check the welfare of this individual. We dispatched several officers, and while we were on scene, we met up with a team of 7 United States Marshals. We were able to gain entry into a home on Dalewood Drive in our jurisdiction, and we located both Mr. Delgado and also Wynter. We collaborated with the Rockcastle County Sheriff's Office to get a arrest warrant for Mr. Delgado for kidnapping. She's in safe custody right now. Our state protective services are working on a reunification plan with her family.
Whenever they say that they're working on a reunification plan, typically what happens in these situations is she will go and she will get checked out by authorities, by the doctors and things like that, based off of what her family consents to. Obviously, at 13, she does have the ability to say no, I believe, to a SANE exam, which would be like a rape kit. Um, I believe at 13 you can make that choice without your parents. Let me just double check. So let's see. Yeah, so at 13, anybody above age 12 can consent to or deny a SANE exam. I hope that they are able to um, get her to consent to that because that could hinder any charges against him if she decides to decline that exam once they have her in custody at this facility. Typically after that, and I'm just speaking from experience with other children that we have followed that have been found uh, for other children that have been found in these situations, typically what happens is they will go and they will speak with counselors and police officers, right? So they go through this whole interview process that is set for children so that they are not being interrogated by police because she's not the one who's in trouble in these situations in most cases. Now, I will say that sometimes runaways can be charged with running away. I don't know if Kentucky has that law, but there are some states that will prosecute children for being runaways. But that's not the situation in every state. But regardless, so they'll take her, they'll speak with counselors, they will oftentimes put her in like an area to um, kind of like decompress because she has been in this horrible situation. So sometimes they will stay a couple nights in a hotel or some type of therapeutic place before necessarily being reunited for with her family. And part of the reason is they'll give her that initial interaction with them, the phone call to let them know that she's okay and things like that, with her being a ward of the state technically. I don't know exactly how this is going to work out. Oftentimes, because she is in foster care, they're probably going to look for a different home for her because obviously this is a home now that she has run away from two different times, allegedly, right? We don't know if for sure she left on her own accord. For all we know, she could have been out taking a walk and this guy could have drove past and picked her up. Chances of that, probably not good. My guess is that she likely was communicating with this man online somehow, and whether she knew he looked like he does or knew that he was 37 or not, that's up in the air. A lot of times they will catfish these kids into thinking that they are different people than who they are, younger, more attractive, closer to their age range, things like that. This could be a situation where she could have walked to a location to meet up with him, maybe even thought that he was a local child or a local teen or a local young adult, something along those lines. And she could have walked to a location to meet him, and he could have came and got her and taken her, not necessarily uh, in her own will. You know, she may have been taken completely against her will all the way to Maryland. Now, chances of that, I don't know. Would he have done that? Would she have been actually kidnapped, like taken away? Either way, I guess I should say she was kidnapped because she's 13. She can't make those decisions to go with a 37-year-old man on her own legally, right? That's not okay. This is not a family member. This is not any of those things. Why is YouTube showing the whole name? I don't know. I don't know why they do that thing. If you remember correctly, the foster family was not going to take her back. There's a very good chance that they won't. Um, and would that mean that her younger sibling that is with them would go back to to a different home also? Would they try to keep the children together and place them somewhere else together? There's a chance. But I know in some situations that we've seen at this point, they could potentially separate her from her younger sibling to find her a place that she cannot run from, to find her a place that she can thrive in the foster care situation. Hopefully, though, her dad can get custody back of her. I know that her dad was actively working on um, getting visits overnight and actively working towards reunification. So maybe this could help speed up the process. I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's going to be very, very up in the air. Hi, Hope and Jesus. How are you? You're thinking dad will get custody back. He has done everything he should. And that would be maybe best case scenario, right? I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, rumor and only rumor is a Roblox player she met and thought he was her age. It's hard to say. I don't think anybody has full information on this, right? I think that Roblox has been in the news so many times for people talking and meeting and things like that. I think they get a bad rap. I just want to tell you that the internet itself is an entire playground where these older predators kind of hang out and meet these younger people because they do not have the emotional maturity or testicular fortitude to be with women their own age, and so they approach these young children and make fantasies with these young children and fall in love with these young children and things like that. And it's honestly sick. And it comes down to the fact that these men are not capable of being with real women. And so they target these children. And it's very upsetting. It's very frustrating. But this guy, like I said, he was diligent enough to know to have cameras outside of his property. Like I said, this is October 2025. He has a camera facing outside of his house. If this is actually his address, this is the address according to Intellis that he was located at. And it's concerning. It's concerning that he has thought this out enough to be able to kind of watch if people are coming. Obviously, it didn't work for him. Obviously, police were able to go up and arrest him with no incident, which is good. You know, we don't want her to be harmed in the process. Oh, you took that down. Too late. I already read it. After your third runaway, they put you in a behavioral health facility. Right. Want to be sleuthing. And that's what I mean. So there are situations that they go through. It's hard. It's hard, especially whenever it's with foster children and things like that. It is very hard. Let's see. I'm just curious. I'm curious if Kentucky is one of the children or one of the areas that charge children for offenses if they run away. Um, because like I said, there are some states that that's like a misdemeanor type of crime where they actually get an arrest record for being a runaway once they're caught. So, because it does take a lot of resources and things like that to look for and find runaways whenever it happens. But my thing is, I don't think, my opinion is, whenever you have a 13-year-old who has made the decision to walk out of their house to meet somebody, we don't know if she intentionally went with this person to Maryland. We don't know if she wanted to be with this person or if she thought that somebody else was going to be there to meet her. We don't know if she was catfished. We don't know if she thought that it was a younger person. We don't know what we don't know. That's a lot of information that hopefully will come up out during a press conference of some sort. But I really think that overall, parents need to be more aware of what your children are doing online. The internet is not safe. All of these little apps, Snapchat, Instagram, any type of video game platform that has any type of chat at all, period. I'm sorry, but there are people out there that are targeting your children. As soon as they post a picture, as soon as they post any information, that it is very evident that they are an uneducated, unsafe child that is not being monitored. These people target them instantly, whether it's for sextortion scams, whether it's for these scams where they're just trying to get them to send them gifts and money and things like that, or gift cards and whatever. It doesn't matter. Or whenever it's situations like this where they convince that child to leave their home, to walk away from safety, to walk away from people that they love. I mean, we're talking she broke up with a boyfriend recently. Why? Because she was in love with this person on the internet. Again, I'm guessing. I'm making um I'm making educated guesses based off of the information that I have available, but that's what this looks like. It looks like she was ending relationships locally. She texted a cousin and said, "Yeah, I ran away." Like all of these things happened where it looks like she left willingly with a 37-year-old man. That is not okay. Whether she went on her own or not, this is a man who targeted this child. And this could be every single one of you out there that have children that have access to devices, whether you think they're just playing a game that's age appropriate, whether you think that they're just talking with only local friends and things like that. You don't know if you're not paying attention. And kids are sneaky, they are tricky. They will go through every single back door to try to get away with what they think they are doing is right, and just it just never works out, right? They just get through all kinds of different safeguards that you put up and all of the things. The only way to truly know what your kid is doing is to look over their shoulder, check their devices, look at their call history, and look at their internet history, and look at your actual modem's internet history, right? Because they can delete it from their physical device. It's the only way to know. Follow up, be a parent, and monitor what your kid is doing, and put as many safeguards as you can up on those devices to keep them off of these chat rooms, off of these games. Frankly, kids don't need the internet unless they're doing projects for school. That's my opinion. Like they really don't need an access to nothing. His bond is 1 million. Wow, that is awesome. I'm glad it's that high. Yeah, her boyfriend was older also. Her actual local boyfriend. So, and anyways, Kentucky, they do have runaway offenses. So she could actually be charged in Kentucky for actually running away if she left on her own accord. Right now, like I said, they're saying kidnapping. She could say, hey, I went out to the end of the road. I thought that he was going to be somebody else. And then he put me in his vehicle and left with me. At that point, she wouldn't be a runaway, right? Because she was literally kidnapped. Um, but taken out of the state like this, like he's getting kidnapping regardless. And I guarantee you, if she allows that SANE exam, they're going to find other stuff. There's no way over the last 2 months that he hasn't touched her. Just my opinion. It says, yes, in Kentucky, running away is a status offense, meaning it's an act only illegal because the person is a minor, leading to the involvement in the juvenile justice system, often resulting in court intervention services and in some cases detention if court orders are violated. Though Kentucky has worked to divert kids from jail by addressing root causes, federal law discourages jail for status offenses. Kentucky uses the valid court order VCO exception, allowing detention for repeat violations. So this is a situation where if she has a history of doing that they could actually put her in a detention center in the state of Kentucky. So crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah. Not to speak to anyone other than his friends. But you don't know Fly Girl if you're not following up. You can make it to where they don't chat with anyone. It's not as fun for them, but it can be done. You still have to monitor it though. Right. Hi, Kathleen. How are you? I don't know. I don't know. I think life is confusing, especially at the age of 13, especially at that age. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's a lot going on in their brains, guys. I think it starts younger than that, probably like 9, 10 years old now because of how much kids are exposed to the world just through TV and social media and friends and cell phones, and they're just exposed to so many things all the time. They're getting this constant just chaos, and it breeds more chaos. But I don't know. This ain't a lecture hall. Let's talk about this case again. So this article came out earlier today. It says a man is now in police custody after a 13-year-old girl from Kentucky. I cannot speak. Hold on one second. Okay. After a 13-year-old girl from Kentucky who had been missing for more than 2 months was found safely in Maryland's Montgomery County area on Friday. The Montgomery County Police Department said Wynter Wagoner of Rockcastle County, Kentucky, was found on December 26 on the 1200 block of Dalewood Drive in Silver Spring. Wynter was last seen on October 14th. The authorities in Kentucky had been searching for her since her disappearance. According to police, the 4th District officers were called just before 6 p.m. after receiving a tip that the missing girl might be in Montgomery County. The officers responded alongside deputies with the U.S. Marshal Service. Inside the home, law enforcement found Wagoner along with Christian Alexander Delgado, who is age 37. He was taken into custody without incident. Wagoner was taken to a nearby hospital for evaluation. Authorities have not released any details about her condition, but say that she was safely recovered. So Rockcastle County Sheriff's Office in Kentucky secured an arrest warrant charging him with kidnapping. He is currently being held in Montgomery County Central Processing Unit, where he is waiting to be extradited back to Kentucky. Somebody asked earlier about his different types of charges that he may have had in the past. So from what I can tell, in the past, the most he has is like traffic violations, it looks like. So let me share this again. And so he had lived in Virginia prior to living in Maryland, and he is Hispanic. Some people were asking about that, if he was Hispanic or not. This does say that he is Hispanic just according to his ethnicity, but he was 18 and he got a says HOV violation, which was an infraction, traffic infraction in Fairfax, Virginia. Let's see, another 69 and a 50. It's just simple types of traffic violations and things like that. Failure to have vehicle inspected. That was also in Virginia. Just misdemeanors and things like that. So this isn't somebody who has like any assault or any types of previous like child crimes or anything like that. Nothing that would stand out to you to say like, hey, this is a horrible guy, stay away. This is sex offenders in his neighborhood, nothing to do with him. But yeah, so there's not a whole lot out there as far as that goes. Just all this is pulling up anyways is just the simple records. You can't see her taking off with him willingly. Did you find a real picture of him? Because what we are dealing with is I have not been able to find a legitimate picture. So let me see what you have here. Okay, so that photo that you have there, so I have seen that. I have seen the photo that you are sharing. That photo is from a Facebook account that only has one friend. And I am of the opinion that that could have been created by somebody, that could have been created by somebody that wanted to troll or that wanted to be able to make a video and be like, look, I'm the first one with the image. Because unfortunately, people in true crime, especially TikTok and YouTube and things like that, unfortunately, people make up a lot of fake information to be able to say things. I'm going to go ahead and show the photo just so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is one friend on here. But I appreciate you definitely sharing that. So this is the information though. See this? This is the Facebook account that everybody is like, oh, it's him. Because it's from, of course, Silver Spring, Maryland, from that area. But look, one friend. This is like a newly created, has no other friends Facebook account. And so I am skeptical to believe that this is him, simply because of the fact that of the one friend, right? So I don't know. It's hard to say. But that picture also does not look 37 years old to me. Yes. So this happens. You've been following kids creating an AI person in this chatbot corresponding back. I don't understand the concept, but yes, he did. He unalived himself because these boys are getting on here and they are unfortunately um, talking to people that they think are young females, and they are sharing personal images and personal information with these individuals, thinking that they have fallen in love with this amazingly hot woman who thinks that they are just the best thing since sliced bread, and they're so in love, and hey, I'll send you a photo if you send me a photo. And then next thing you know, as soon as they start sending photos, as soon as all that happens, then the person sends back information like, hey, send me $500 or else I'm sharing your images with everybody you know, and start sending them uh, photos of like their mom's Facebook and Instagram accounts and blah, 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 and demanding money. And that's a real thing. That's sextortion. No, Maryland does not show a booking photo, unfortunately. All we have is this little sliver from Maryland right here. This is it. This is what we got. And it just says fugitive from justice on this. Likely because he is wanted in another state. He'd be wanted and being charged in Kentucky, and they are just holding him until he can be sent to Kentucky. Once he's to Kentucky, we will see the booking photos. We will see the actual arrest affidavits. We will see all of that information. And I look for a press conference to come out once he's actually in custody there. We'll get a lot more information. And I am betting if she consented to the same exam that we are going to see additional charges filed against him. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link if anybody wants to come up and chit chat at all about this case or about any other cases. Feel free to come up and join me. I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to drop it into other areas that people can access it, just in case somebody can't click on the link through that area. You are more than welcome to come up and join real quick if anybody else wants to. No pressure though. I can talk to myself all day. So there's that. His character was a woman from the Game of Thrones. Ugh, crazy. There's all kinds of videos about that though. Me. I was watching this one the other day. This guy, what he does on his channel, and I'm not going to share the whole video, but what he does on his channel is he actually will scam the scammers, right? He is so disgusted by these individuals who are targeting these young teen boys and constantly going out and just targeting these individuals, these young men and all the things that they're doing. And so what he does is him and this guy, they create these profiles to get these women to target them intentionally, basically women loosely quoted because they're not actually women ever. But he creates these accounts so that he can go on and get them to talk to him, and then next thing you know, he's talking to these scammers. And of course, oh, we start sharing pictures, everything's going great, blah, blah, blah. You share more personal photos. And of course, as soon as you share the more personal photos, it flips and say pay or post now. I'm sending it to your stepmother and all of social media, pay or post, blah, 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 whatever. So they do that. And then they hack these scammers' accounts. So they were actually able to track this guy, get his account hacked, and they scammed the scammer basically. And yeah, that's what they do. They scare the scammers. It's pretty cool. Yeah, he's still being processed. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. So, no photos yet, but again, no criminal record outside of some traffic violations that I can see. I do find it extremely interesting that he allegedly lives up against a daycare. I want to know who the tip was. I'm so thankful, so very, very thankful that somebody seen this situation and they reported it and they were able to get Wynter saved. For all we know, she could have been being held completely against her will in this home, unable to leave, unable to communicate with anybody for the last 2 months. We don't know. And whoever it was that seen her thought that the relationship did not look right and was figured out that it was her, that she was a missing person, called in the welfare check, and they were able to go into this home and safely get her out with no incident, no violence at all. And I find that amazing. It's just absolutely amazing that somebody was able to call that in. Yeah, you saw a short video. There's all kinds of videos like with them scamming the scammers and stopping the people who are doing this, right? It's almost always people in Nigeria. It's always almost always men, right? But then there are these situations where unfortunately people are catfished by people in the United States and lured into situations that they might not necessarily want to be in. So, Yeah, kudos and much love to that person. This could have went so bad, especially since it seemed like only her local news was covering it. It feels that way, right? It feels like her case wasn't very many places, but you'd be surprised how far social media's reach goes, how far TikTok goes, how far YouTube and things like that goes. Um, it's it's part of why awareness videos and getting somebody's name out there is so important. And BC, you know this. Like we have had cases where somebody has recognized somebody in Canada. Remember oh goodness, Jose, what was his name? The little boy that they found went missing in Florida and they found him in Canada, and the person in Canada has seen his social media post and his videos being shared and was able to be like in Walmart and notice him and call it in. Tonview is the same way. Whenever she was in that library in Florida, it was because of social media and videos. Tatum was another one. So it happens. Social media is so important. And TikTok went very hard for Winter's case. They were all over it. And actually, has anybody I haven't checked TikTok to see actually if anybody has this guy's photo yet. I'm guessing probably not. It's probably just the fake social media video or fake social media profile. I'm convinced that it's faked anyways, just simply because nobody in the world has one friend intentionally. So let's see. Yeah, it's just that same guy going around. Nothing, nothing that looks legitimate, right? That's what I should say. Very good chance that that is a fake profile, right? Right. Social media is not all bad. It's not. But I do think that you need to be in an appropriate age to be able to utilize social media and even an appropriate maturity level, right? There are still some people that are in their 20s that maybe, still don't have the right maturity level to be able to understand the dangers that are out there. What is so bad is now you have all the critics coming out with bizarre speculation about Winter. Yeah. And think about it this way. So, even whenever she went missing for the last 2 months, people have speculated that the foster dad killed her, right? There was people who were demanding searches on his property and things like that because he was so sus and all of those things because he made a comment about she's 13 but she looks like she could be 16. And that automatically meant that he likely killed her or did something horrible to her. And meanwhile, this poor foster dad had nothing to do with this other than opening his home for these children to come into his house and stay there to try to provide for them while while they were in their time of need. That's all he did in this situation, to our knowledge. There are reasons she wanted to run away, but it could have been absolutely, I don't know. It could have been absolutely nothing at the same time. It could have been big to a 13-year-old, but it could have been something like, for example, him finding out that she was talking to adult men on social media. We know that she had gotten grounded the week prior to her disappearance. We know that she had gotten her cell phone taken away prior to her disappearance. Why? Did they catch her talking to adult men on social media? Did they catch her utilizing her devices inappropriately? And so they tried to discipline her, and that led to her running away. Unfortunately, not everybody agrees with discipline. So it's rough. It's rough. But I do think that having questions, speculating, it's natural. We all think and wonder about what could have possibly happened. We all wonder what could have possibly happened in every situation. We all have these thoughts. We all speculate. And anybody who says that they don't speculate at all, I mean, they're liars, right? We all wonder what could have happened. You always go to the worst possible case scenario in your mind because unfortunately, cases that we do follow are they end two ways, right? It's either a runaway or a situation where somebody has left their home willingly and ended up in a bad situation, or it's a situation where unfortunately they were unalived. We follow too many cases where there is dead children. Let's talk about Melody Buzzard for a second. I mean, her mom just pled not guilty to her murder. 9-year-old missing. A 9-year-old whose remains were found. Killed, likely by her mom. Her mom is being charged with her murder. And this happens. And so this is why whenever we see these cases that we naturally think that the closest person to them did something to them. And so I don't hate people for speculating. I don't hate people for speculating. I understand why people speculate. I understand why we have questions about these cases. I understand the reality that sometimes these children are not okay. Sometimes these children are in horrible situations, and that sucks. But I'm thankful, like BC said, I'm thankful that her mom and dad, her bio family, came out and spoke because people need to hear from the families whenever these children are missing. Otherwise, it becomes just another missing poster. Otherwise, their child goes completely unnoticed. Otherwise, nobody talks about the case and nobody even knows that that person is missing. Yeah, her family was very involved and spread information. I think that's why her case blew up. And I know the foster family, I almost called them step parents. I know the foster family was not happy that they were recorded whenever they did their interview, quote unquote. I know they were not happy whenever they talked to those YouTubers that information was recorded and shared. However, um, it was necessary information that needed to be out there. It needed the case to go out. Right. And there's so many missing in Kentucky. And the only way that you're going to set your case apart, the only way that you're going to actually get a social media following and get Wynter's face or whoever the child's face out there is if you are loud and vocal. And unfortunately, if there is some drama in the case or drama that can be created in the case or speculation that can be created in the case, it's going to spread like wildfire that much more because social media, because people gravitate towards train wrecks. And so I'm sorry, but if your family is not a train wreck, if there's not a train wreck in your case, it's going to be that much harder to get people to want to spread awareness about it. And so, unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, the flaws that are in Wynter's family actually helped share her case. And so I struggle with that. I struggle with the line in between spreading awareness and creating havoc or chaos in these families' lives. I struggle with where my purpose and my line is on things. But I do also understand it because unfortunately it's that much easier to say like, "Oh, well, so and so obviously killed their child because of this, and this," and then it makes it go viral. I mean, look at Summer Wells' case, look at Sebastian Rogers' case. There are people who know their faces hundreds of miles away, countries away, know what Summer Wells looks like or would look like, knows what Sebastian Rogers looks like or would look like because of the chaos and the drama surrounding that case. That child's face is everywhere. So you got to kind of think about whenever your kid's missing, how much are you willing to sacrifice? How many closets and skeletons in your closets are you willing to drag out so that people can see your missing child's face so that somebody can recognize that your child is missing and in a situation that they shouldn't be in, to be able to call in a tip. And I'm just going to take you guys back to this police video for those of you guys who may have come in late and didn't see it yet. This is the police officer sharing how Wynter was found.
Someone saw Wynter and didn't think that it was right that she was with this individual. They figured out that it could be Wynter Wagoner, and they called our communication center and asked us to check the welfare of this individual.
500 miles away. 500 miles away, somebody seen this child and thought that the situation wasn't right, and then was able to call Wynter in missing. Why? How did that happen? Simply because her face was out there, because the case went viral. Well, not viral, right? It didn't go viral, but thousands of people saw her face that maybe would have never seen it because of the chaos, because of the closets, because of the skeletons. Hi, Bushes. How are you?
Hi, I'm sorry that took so long to get
Oh, no, you're
in.
good. You're good.
That app has done new things. I'm so excited that she was found and she is okay.
Me too. Me too. I
I
hope that
just,
we find out that she's like truly okay, right? I don't want to think that anything bad happened to her. The reality behind the situation, you know what I mean? It just kind of makes me sick to even think about. Honestly, these are videos that probably, um, once we have all of the information out, I'll probably private just for her own personal being able to come back from all this. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
scrubbing it off of my end. I know it's going to be out there on other places, but I'm sure whenever she's 15, 16, 17 years old, she's not going to want to be able to look back and see all of this, you know?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
You know, you just, you really,
never know. Hmm.
you really never know. I wouldn't think so, but you never know. Um, given her age, I don't think it should be out there either, but the internet is the internet, and once it's out, it's out.
Right. Hi, Rhonda. I I don't know. I still can't believe 500 miles away.
Oh yeah.
Like this man traveled for her.
Well, we don't know if he did.
Well, true. True, because we have definitely seen cases before where they have sent like a woman or someone else to go pick up the person.
Yeah. Somebody else could have done it. He could have just been the one caught sitting on her.
Right?
Um, don't know yet. Don't know yet. We'll
That's
just
true.
have to
Because
wait
like
and see.
if there was somebody else involved, I'm sure that we'll see other charges and things like that come. It's just going to take time.
Yeah.
Is that Jax?
No, that's Blue barking at Jax.
Oh. Oh my. I don't know. This one, I'm glad it was over quick though, right? 2 months, it seems like a long time for us. I'm sure it seems like an eternity for her family, but I'm glad that this did not go on for months and months and months and years and years and years. Like I'm glad that she was found quickly.
Well, I am too, because the longer they're gone, the more of a chance something happens.
Right.
So I'm I'm really grateful that she was found. I'm grateful for whoever turned in the tip, and um I'm glad there doesn't seem to be anybody else being held with her.
Yeah, she was there alone, with him, at least we know, right?
Yeah, yeah, sitting right smack next to Lulu's daycare there.
I cannot believe that there's literally a daycare right next door. Like whenever I pulled this up on Google Earth, I wanted to see the address. I was like, unbelievable. Like what are the chances? And I could not find like a website. You know how usually they have like the like pictures and things like that of their websites. I
Yeah.
can't see. I don't even see like owner operators, like none of that jazz. You know what I mean? Like I can't find anything on it. Which I mean, I don't want them to get a bad name just because of it, but could you imagine if you have your child in this daycare and then somebody next door got arrested for kidnapping a child? Like that would terrify me. Obviously he was arrested now, but like, ugh.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like Lulu's is probably really happy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're like not happy. Lula's.
Or Lula's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't read it with my glasses on. Sorry,
Nope, you're
guys.
good. You're good. But it's just like a little neighborhood. Like there's nothing really. It's just all like duplexes. The whole street, it seems like.
Yeah. And that was up in Maryland, you said?
Yep. Yeah, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Oh, that's a long way.
Share the screen again for those of you guys who might have come in late or anything. According to the Intellis report, right? This could not be his home, but according to his Intellis report, this is his house address right here, 12023 Dalewood Drive in Silver Spring, Maryland. And again, this Google image was taken October 2025. I don't know exactly which date, like which day, but I do find that interesting that she went missing in October. And of course, Google drove past. Like, so one of these vehicles could be his, sitting right outside of his house. Could also be the neighbors, could also be the people who live at Lula's, could be families picking up their kids, but also there's a camera on the outside of this home looking out towards the street. And so we're lucky that the police were able to get in there yesterday and arrest him without him harming her or himself.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't know what I think about all this yet. I'm
Right.
very bothered that we can't find an image of him.
Yeah, like nothing legitimate, right? I do not think that Facebook image is him just because it has one friend
No,
likely just
him.
created so that somebody could be like, this is the image of the guy, you know?
Yeah,
Because
no.
unfortunately we see that in every single case. But BC said, so no daycare workers thought it was strange that a 13-year-old just popped up next door. So we don't know that, right? Because somebody did ultimately call in this tip. Somebody called this in. She thought that the relationship was strange, called it in for a welfare check, and they went and got him. Let me play that again.
Someone saw Wynter and didn't think that it was right that she was with this individual. They figured out that it could be Wynter Wagoner, and they called our communication center and asked us to check the welfare of this individual. We dispatched several officers, and while we were on scene, we met up with a team of 7 United States Marshals. We were able to gain entry into a home on Dalewood Drive in our jurisdiction, and we located both Mr. Delgado and also Wynter. We collaborated with the Rockcastle County Sheriff's Office to get a arrest warrant for Mr. Delgado for kidnapping. She's in safe custody right now. Our state protective services are working on a reunification plan with her family.
So there you go. The official report again. So somebody seen her and thought that it was inappropriate. Chances are they probably knew her name was Wynter. She might have even been introduced to them as Wynter. Could you imagine sitting there thinking like there's something off in this relationship? Like this doesn't seem right. Like had never known him to have like a niece or a cousin or whatever of that age range. Like there's something happening in that situation.
And here's the thing, if he took her or he knows that she's been taken and he has her, there may not have been may not have like left there or gone outside or been in the area with him.
Right.
It may have been somebody who knocked on the door
Right.
or a friend that stopped by to see him and been like,
Yeah,
we
like
don't
this
know
isn't
if
right.
any of the neighbors saw him. He
Mhm.
may have taken her in there in the middle of the night, and she may
And just
not
kept
have
her.
seen grass since.
Yep. They did post in the Where is Winter Wagner group as of 20 minutes ago. It says, now that Winter has been found, we are going to begin cleaning up the group page. This includes removing posts that contain speculation, accusations, or unverified information. This is a time for continued prayer, compassion, and respect. Let's not forget that she is a 13-year-old girl. Please continue to pray for Winter and her family as they navigate the days ahead. I know everyone wants answers, sorry, but we must allow law enforcement the time and space to complete their investigation. I want to sincerely thank everyone who helped in any way, those who shared her story, hung flyers, searched, prayed, and supported this family. Thank you to our local police and fire departments and volunteers, Kentucky State Police, FBI, U.S. Marshals. Thank you to the media and social media influencers who utilized their platforms to bring awareness when it was needed the most. Because of the communities, Winter was not forgotten. So, and I think that's appropriate. I think honestly, taking the group down would be perfectly appropriate. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To get it off of social media as much as possible. Now that she has been located, obviously it's never going to go away on platforms like TikTok, things like that. Um, there are groups that sometimes they will transition to a different missing child in the area since they already have the um, the platform with several thousands of people, you know what I mean, all combined for those areas. Um, but ultimately, I think it's appropriate to delete all the things,
I think it is too.
especially like they said, 13. She's 13 years old. She's got several months before she becomes a 14-year-old. Like she's just got so much life left to live. She's got so much in front of her, and this is just going to be a splotch in her past. Uh, Lordy, if I could have every mistake that I made or bad things that have happened to me whenever I was 13 posted all over social media, like forget that. You know what I mean? Like, no, thank you.
Yes,
So
I agree.
there was also a post put up that said, last night I issued an arrest warrant for Christian Delgado in relation to the kidnapping of juvenile from our county. The district court judge Hardy set Delgado's bond at $1 million cash. Huge shout out to the detective Sam Brock, Rockcastle County Sheriff's Department, U.S. Marshal Services, and FBI for their weeks of nonstop work trying to locate and bring the juvenile home safely, and to local Maryland authorities for their quick response with the U.S. Marshals yesterday. I will say that this county, this police force, they really did come out and show up for her.
They did.
They really, really did. Like there are so many times that we see cases where the family struggles to get police to even acknowledge that their child is missing out loud onto social media and things like that. And these police officers, they came right out, they did the posts, they talked to reporters whenever was necessary, right, and they supported the family with being able to get the information out there. And so you don't always see that. And not only that, but they actively were searching, looking, and trying to find Winter throughout.
I'm going
So
to stress the importance of pictures in missing persons cases, how
mhm,
important that is. And for all the smacking around social media, I know there's a lot of bad with it, but I kind of feel like she wouldn't have been recognized if it wasn't for social media.
right,
I don't feel like anybody in Maryland would even know that there was a missing girl from Kentucky,
right.
especially the small town she went missing from.
I wonder, so if you even put winter missing into the search, it comes up with so many posts and flyers and things like that. And so I wonder again, like if this person was like, yeah, this doesn't seem right, or this girl doesn't seem right. And if they just knew her first name was Winter and just like did a simple Google search, even typing her name wrong, saying Winter instead of WY, it still pulls up missing from Kentucky. So there's a very, very good chance that the social media recognition, the Google recognition, things like that, could have 100% led to being. Sorry, I just hold on. Look at this. Led to her being found. But look at this. I just was looking up different posts or whatever. Look at this. Dad uses teen's cell phone data to rescue her after she was forced into a truck at knife point on Christmas Day. This just
Oh my
happened.
goodness.
This article was just posted today, but this was in Texas. It says Texas teenager was rescued by her father after she was forced into a truck at knife point on Christmas Day. Patrol deputies with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office were called to an area home at 4:50 p.m. on Thursday. The agency said on social media the officers were told that the 15-year-old had taken her dog out for a walk but had not returned. Her father then used parental controls to track her phone's location and find it in a secluded, partially wooded area. That is so freaking scary. About 2 miles
Wow.
away. The sheriff's office said that her father, who has not been identified, traveled to the site and found his daughter and her dog inside a maroon colored pickup truck, along with a partially, oh my God, how did he not kill this man? Along with a partially nude man, the father helped the teen escape and brought her back home where they called the sheriff's office. How the heck did he not kill this guy? Could you imagine rolling up on some guy who has your daughter? The investigators determined that the male suspect had threatened the teenager with a knife. Witness descriptions allowed police to identify the suspect's vehicle and identified the driver as Giovanni Rosales Espinoza, 23, who was taken into custody without incident, the sheriff's office said, and has been charged with aggravated kidnapping and indecency with a child. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Sorry. Anyways, that kind of just popped up whenever I was doing that random search. People are sick. There's so many predators out there. It's just ridiculous. Mm, 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 mm. But I am glad that Wynter will be reunited with her family and brought back to Kentucky, and that this guy is going to be held accountable. Once we get more information, guys, I will come live again so that we can take a look at everything. Hopefully a photo soon.
It's weird that there's not one. I'm going to tell you that is weird.
Yeah.
That makes me feel some kind of way about things.
Every time I put it in like Google Images to see if something has popped up yet, it keeps pulling up this one same guy, but I reversed search the photo to see like what it actually was linked to, and it's linked to some random shooting that happened in Maryland, and so I don't know why it keeps pulling up that same photo for him, but hmm. Yeah, me too, Ringo. So happy to be found. She was found safe. I do not know. Right. If you found that, you'd definitely be the next Aaron Spencer, right?
Right?
I don't know how you roll up on some guy being inappropriate with your child in the back seat of his truck and not unalive them.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. You've been looking everywhere. No, no photo is so weird. Except for again, the one friend Facebook, which I don't think is him. Yeah, I don't think it's
Well,
him either.
I find it very weird. It makes me think that the internet is scrubbed of his identity. It also makes me think that maybe there may possibly a bigger investigation. I'm not sure.
Right.
Or if they just didn't want his photo out yet because they wanted him to live through the transfer.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I don't know what to think, but it's weird because usually, there's at least a mugshot up,
Mhm.
but there's like just like this guy just doesn't exist.
I'm gonna pull this up real quick. BC talked about said she let me see. Camilla. Is it Camilla? Is that how you say that? Missing in Texas. Says missing teens, Texas teens heartbreaking last words to best friends before she misses mysteriously vanished just before Christmas Eve walk revealed. The best friend of a Texas teenager who mysteriously vanished from her home early Christmas Eve morning shared the girl's heartbreaking last words. Cami Mendoza Olmos, 19, was last seen outside of her San Antonio home just before 7 a.m. on Wednesday wearing pajama shorts and a hoodie. Her childhood best friend, they're named the same thing, Camilla and Camilla. That's funny. Estrella, different last name, obviously, because they're best friends. But that's interesting that she would be best friends with somebody who had the same name as her. Said the pair were on the phone Tuesday making plans to go dress shopping to look for an outfit for Estrella's boyfriend's family event. She said, "Bye, Cammy. Love you." She was someone that was just so full of love. She said, adding the two spoke every day. "This is so random. We never expected this." Almost wearing baby blue pajama shorts and a black hoodie and white shoes was captured on video outside of the house rummaging through her car before the footage cut off. Why did the footage cut off? The Bexar County Sheriff's Office said the disappearances left the community shaken and the family desperate to find the Northwest Vista Community College student. Why did the camera shut off? Was she like
Yeah,
out of range of the Ring doorbell? You ever see that, like where the Ring doorbell's up and then it kind of will stop after so long because you're like out of range, but it's still catching your image, but just out of range maybe. I'm curious. I'm gonna have to look at more into this. Obviously, BC, you're gonna have to send me whatever info you have. The aunt had taken Almost and her mother in when the first two, or when the two first moved to Texas from California in 2012. "This was not Christmas for us. It's a nightmare," she said, adding that relatives who had gone out of town for the holidays quickly returned to help find her. Also, mom Rosario woke Wednesday unable to find her daughter, who typically took an early morning walk. Her aunt said that "this was not Christmas for us. It's a nightmare." That's so sad. They have her listed as possibly endangered.
possibly. Yeah,
Um,
she had a thing with her boyfriend's family. She goes missing. She missed Christmas with her family. Yes, she's not gone of her own accord.
yeah, this is not good. And if she was outside rummaging through her car and the footage cut off, but then didn't pick back up, like if she walked away towards, like away from, like I'm thinking like Ring doorbell camera. I want to know what the footage is from. I'm gonna have to look into it. But if she walked away and was able to be caught on the initial camera, but then never came back towards it to kick it back on, like has she been missing ever since she rummaged through her car? Did somebody drive past and grab her at that point? Like what happened here? I don't
I
understand.
hope everybody's checking their cameras.
They called her daughter's phone only to find it on a bed with no battery. With no battery, like as in dead? Like on the bed with no battery as in dead, or like on the bed with the battery taken out of the back? Because that's weird. That would tell me it would be intentional at that point, but dead makes sense. Like if you left it, threw it on your bed and then went outside to your car and then came back in, or but never came back in, of course it would die at that point, right? Mine's steady, always dead.
Well,
But
that
that,
indicates either she went outside to get something and somebody followed her out of the house,
mhm,
or she went out to get something
and somebody seen her
and
and grabbed her,
yeah, well, and then walked back into the house
right?
and laid her cell phone there. It kind of makes me think, I don't know, with that camera turning off, I want to know if the whatever the camera was, if
Here it is.
those were turned off and those were the last images, or if
Here it
it
is right here.
just it just faded and nothing came back on again.
Just obtained here at KSAT of what appears to be Camilla Olmos, who is a 19-year-old who's missing from Bexar County. This is the last known image video of her from the morning of Christmas Eve. Bexar County deputies posted to Facebook saying that they have video of her looking in her car, and then the next time that the video comes back up, she is gone, but her car is still there. This is a screen grab from that video of what appears to be her standing next to her car. Now, her car is still there. She has her car keys, but her phone and everything else in terms of her personal belongings are still at home. I spoke with her family and her friends about what this means for them to have to be looking for her just after Christmas and during the holidays, and this is what some of them had to say.
It's been hard just knowing that she's out there, just scared that she's alone. It's been stressful. We just want her to come home.
If you have any information, any video, any pictures, or you know anything about what may have happened to Camilla or where she might be, this is that number again. You can contact BCSO at the number at the top of the screen. It's 210-335-6000. You can also email Bexar County Sheriff's Office at missingpersons@bexar.org.
That's freaking sad.
Okay, maybe she was just messing with her phone and couldn't get it working. Maybe she went out to her car to dig for a charger or something. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody went into the house, and apparently the cameras were still working.
Right. I'm looking at the Sheriff's County's post right now. That sucks. His mom said she walks in the mornings usually, yeah.
But that doesn't sound like a walk. It sounds like she just went out to her car to get something.
To look for something, right. And the only thing she has with her is her car keys, but her car is still there. So it literally sounds like she went out, was looking for something, and then never was able to come back in, type of deal. That's weird.
I hope they got out some scent dogs.
Yeah. Looks like they've done several searches for her. Like they're active doing searches for her.
Yeah, they
I can't
definitely
find
need to
where
check
the
within that
police
neighborhood.
is putting the video at. That's what I'm looking for right now. You're gonna have to share whatever you have for this, BC, and I will take a look and we'll see if we can't update everybody with what, like, combine it all together and put it out there for you guys all to see tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow. Possibly her license also. Why would she have her license but not anything else?
Yeah, I don't.
Although, okay, I'm just gonna say, like, there's a chance she carries her license with her on her walks in case she encounters ice. Because that's a whole thing right now in this area.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
okay,
that actually would
yeah.
make sense. Like,
Papers,
right.
papers.
Do you get what I mean though? Like, I mean, that's
Yes.
just the reality because she is Hispanic
Yeah,
and she might just in case, she would be stopped or whatever or questioned about anything, she might walk with her license, which would make sense
yeah.
just in case. And I mean, that's just me guessing. I don't know if that's like her common practice or if she just so happened to have it on her, but that would be my guess. And obviously, this isn't a situation where she was taken by ICE and nobody knows. Like, they would have already communicated with them to make sure. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that could be the reality behind why she might have her photo ID in her pocket. Hmm. I want to find the actual full surveillance video though, because I see like the
Yeah.
screenshots. Everybody's sharing the screenshot, but I want to watch the video.
Yeah, I want
Because
to see the
I'm weird
video.
like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see the actual video.
I want to see what she was wearing.
Right. Well, and I want to know, like, is it a neighbor's camera or something like that? Like, or is it her own camera? Like, I want to know the source of the video. I want to know all of the things. So I'm just going to keep digging. We'll keep digging. I'm not going to stay alive while I dig, but we will keep digging into this for sure and follow up. And I'm also going to let you guys know if we find a photo of Mr. Delgado. Where is the video, though, of this? Let me see. This also just has the screenshot. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bushes, for coming up, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you guys all for coming, and make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and we will be back same time, same place tomorrow,
Okay,
probably
bye,
around the
guys.
same time anyways. Have a good night. Bye.